Good morning. You're watching the breakfast news on Rajya Sabha television. Well, it is Monday morning and there's lots that's making news. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor with you. Let us start the news bulletin with the headlines. Central government to launch a Jal Shakti Abhiyan in 255 water-stressed districts today. In his second edition of Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister Modi calls for a mass movement to conserve water. Rajya Sabha to discuss Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill 2019. Resolution seeking extension of President's rule in the state also listed in the day's business. Lok Sabha to take up a Central Educational Institutions Reservation in Teachers Cadre Bill 2019 and the Dentist Amendment Bill 2019. Annual Amarnath Yatra starts with a 5-tier security cover. Over 1.5 lakh pilgrims to undertake the holy trip. 300 additional companies of security forces deployed along 2 routes for the 46-day Yatra. Donald Trump returns to Washington after a historic meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Becomes the first US sitting president to set foot in the demilitarized zone between two Koreas. Both nations agree to restart nuclear talks. And in cricket, Team India taste a first defeat as England keep their semi-finals hopes alive, beat India by 31 runs. Captain Kohli admits team was not clinical with the bat. Sri Lanka to take on West Indies in Chester Street today. The top story this morning, as India faces a widespread water shortage, Centre's Jal Shakti Abhiyan will be launched across the country from today to accelerate water harvesting and conservation measures. Now, the scheme is aimed at making water conservation and promotion of irrigation efficacy a mass movement through asset creation and communication campaigns. Now, Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat will launch the scheme from New Delhi. The campaign is being organized in 2 phases this year. First, from 1st of July to 30th of September, and the second phase will run from 1st of October to 30th of November. Over 250 officers have been set up, and the officers have been appointed as in charge of water-stressed districts in the country to plan ways to conserve the natural resource. The ministry has appointed as the central Prabhari officers of 256 water-stressed districts for coordinating the Jal Shakti Abhiyan.
लगभग 18% आबादी और 17% लाइव स्टॉक पॉपुलेशन धारण करता है और दुनिया की केवल 4% पानी भारत में, इसलिए भारत की चुनौती और भी बड़ी है और भी गंभीर है। जिस तरह से भूजल का दोहन हो रहा है और उस दोहन के साथ साथ में भूजल के पुनर्भरण की जिस तरह से की चिंता जिस तरह से कम की गई है, उसके कारण से स्थितियां और भी कठिन होती जा रही है, क्योंकि आज भी हमारा 60% इरिगेशन और लगभग 65% ड्रिंकिंग वाटर जो है सोर्स वो अर्बन वो जो है भूगर्भ के जल पर डिपेंडेंट है। इसलिए निश्चित रूप से ये चिंता का विषय है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who had said a few months ago that he would return with his monthly radio address Mann Ki Baat after the elections, on Sunday credited the people for bringing him back. In his first address in the second edition of the monthly show, he said that you are the ones who transformed yourself into a pillar of trust. At a time when water levels in India's major reservoirs and river basins have fallen, Prime Minister Modi pitched for conservation of rainwater, saying there is a pressing need to make it a mass movement on the lines of the cleanliness drive. The Prime Minister suggested 3 methods to save water. Emphasizing on the role to be played by the new Jal Shakti Ministry, PM Modi also urged Indians to share their ideas regarding water conservation using the hashtag Jan Shakti for Jal Shakti.
जल की महत्ता को सर्वोपरि रखते हुए देश में नया जल शक्ति मंत्रालय बनाया गया है। इससे पानी से संबंधित सभी विषयों पर तेजी से फैसले लिए जा सकेंगे। जल संरक्षण के लिए एक जन आंदोलन की शुरुआत करें। हम सब साथ मिलकर पानी की हर बूंद को बचाने का संकल्प करें। पानी की एक एक बूंद को बचाने के लिए एक जागरूकता अभियान की शुरुआत करें। इसमें पानी से जुड़ी समस्याओं के बारे में बताएं, साथ ही पानी बचाने के तरीकों का प्रचार प्रसार करें।
And speaking about the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, Prime Minister Modi said that India was the largest democracy and it was the largest democratic election in the world.
उड़ीसा में ग्रामीण इलाका ज़्यादा है। उड़ीसा एकदम बहुत ही विकसित और ऐसा तो राज्य नहीं है भारत के जो जिन राज्यों को अभी भी विकास के राह में लाने के लिए मेहनत करनी पड़े, ऐसे राज्यों में से वहां के मतदाताओं ने लोकसभा के लिए एक मतदान किया, विधानसभा के लिए दूसरा मतदान किया। इसका मतलब हमारे मतदाताओं को एक ही समय विवेक बुद्धि का पूरा है। मैं तो कुछ तो सीटें ऐसी है कि जहां नीचे की सारे असेंबली सीटें विधानसभा में गई बीजेडी को और लोकसभा उन्होंने बीजेपी को दी। ये मैच्योरिटी हमारे देश में, हम उनका अनादर कर रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also reminded people of the emergency and urged them not to take democracy for granted. He underlined the importance of democracy and electoral process. He also remembered those who fought during the emergency imposed by Indira Gandhi.
जब देश में आपातकाल लगाया गया, तब उसका विरोध सिर्फ राजनीतिक दायरे तक सीमित नहीं रहा था, राजनेताओं तक सीमित नहीं रहा था, जेल के सलाखों तक आंदोलन सिमट नहीं गया था। जन जन के दिल में एक आक्रोश था। सामान्य जीवन में लोकतंत्र के अधिकारों की क्या मजा है, वो तो तब पता चलता है जब कोई लोकतंत्र के अधिकारों को छीन लेता है। आपातकाल में देश के हर नागरिक को लगने लगा था कि उसका कुछ छीन लिया गया है।
Prime Minister Modi also urged people to make a book reading a habit and reiterated that bouquets should be replaced by books as gifts. PM Modi also reiterated the importance of yoga. He said that International Yoga Day was marked with great enthusiasm in India and abroad. And news from a budget session of Parliament, and some important bills are lined up in today's agenda in the upper house. Let's take a look at them. Well, the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill 2019 will be moved for consideration and passing in the upper house today. The bill, which was passed in Lok Sabha by a voice vote on Friday, will be moved by Home Minister Amit Shah. Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill 2019 amends the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Act 2004 and it replaces an ordinance issued by the previous government. The Act provides for reservation in appointment and admission in state institutions for the SCs, STs and OBCs. It also includes persons residing in areas adjoining the international border within the ambit of reservation. And Amit Shah will also move a resolution seeking extension of the President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for another 6 months beginning 3rd of July. The resolution was also passed in the Lok Sabha last week. Also, the Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill is listed in today's agenda of the upper house. This bill was also passed by the Lok Sabha last week on Thursday. The bill amends the Homeopathy Central Council Act 1973 and it seeks to extend the period of reconstitution of the Central Council from an existing period of 1 year to 2 years. Ayush Minister Shripad Yesso Naik will move this bill. And our colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from the national capital. A very good morning, Kriti. So talking about Rajya Sabha, it is a very crucial day because NDA will face a crucial test as the House will take up a statutory resolution for the extension of the President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir by another 6 months and also granting reservation to the people living in on the international border in Jammu and Kashmir. So very important day, and BJP, we understand, has also issued a 3-line whip to its members to be remain present in the House today.
Well, Ashwarya, both the BJP and the Congress have issued whip to their members to be present in the upper house today because there are important items in day's agenda. As far as the resolution on extension of presence rule in Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, remember Ashwarya, the governor's rule was imposed on the state of Jammu and Kashmir on 20th of June 2018 after the state assembly was kept in suspended animation because the Mehbooba Mufti government was reduced to minority after the BJP withdrew support. Now, under Article 92 of Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, the governor's rule cannot be extended, so the governor had recommended imposition of presence rule. The term of presence rule is expiring on 2nd of July. So this resolution is extremely important, and also the government has clarified that it is ready to hold elections as and when the Election Commission of India decides, and also said that it was not possible to hold simultaneous elections in the state of Jammu and Kashmir along with the Lok Sabha elections because of the security reasons. So certainly a very important resolution there, and also the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill amending the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Act 2004 and Rules 2005 to provide reservation to people living adjoining the areas of international border at par with people living near the actual line of control. Remember, the government has also said that this bill is extremely crucial for reducing the regional disparity within the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Also, there's homeopathy, Central Council Amendment Bill, and as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, there are important bills in the Lok Sabha also, like the Dentist Amendment Bill,
Right,
and also the
Kriti,
Central
we'll just come
Education
back to you. We'll
Institution
discuss
Reservation.
with you the bills in the lower house. But of course, talking about Rajya Sabha, Jammu and Kashmir will be the focus of attention, with bills affecting the future of the state being discussed in Rajya Sabha today. And Union Home Minister Amit Shah will be moving the resolution to extend the president's rule in the state as well. Stay with us, Kriti. We'll just come back to you. And several bills are listed in the Lok Sabha as well. Union Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will move for consideration and passing the Central Education Institutions Reservation in Teachers Cadre Bill 2019 today. Now, this bill aims to fill up more than 7,000 vacancies by the direct recruitment process in accordance with the new quota system. And this bill will replace the Central Educational Institutions Reservation in Teachers Cadre Ordinance 2019. The bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha last week, and also the Dentist Amendment Bill 2019 is also listed in today's agenda for consideration and passing, and this bill amends the Dentist Act 1948. This amendment will help restructure the dental councils, and the representation of the central government members and elected members would no longer be made mandatory in the dental councils. This bill was also introduced in the Lok Sabha last week. All right, let's go back to our colleague Kriti Mishra. Kriti, as you were telling us, very important legislations are also, there in the lower house agenda as well. Of course, discussion on the bill related to the reservation of teachers is there, and also there is a bill for to make dental councils really more effective.
That's right, Aishwarya. So there's important bill which is the Central Educational Institutions Reservation in Teachers Cadre Bill. Remember, this bill seeks to restore the 200 roster system in reservation, also treat university or college as one unit. This was a demand, a long-standing demand of the universities and colleges. We've seen several protests also. So this bill seeks to ensure and restore that 200 roster system in the educational institutions. And there's also the Dentist Amendment Bill that seeks to further fortify the Dentist Council in India. So certainly important day and important legislative items in the lower house as well. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. So the Central Educational Institutions Reservation in Teachers Cadre Bill 2019 up for discussion today, and seeks to replace an ordinance that was promulgated by the government earlier, and also bill to make Dental Council of India more effective, going to be discussed in the Lok Sabha today. Thank you so much, Kriti, for all those updates there from Parliament. And with that, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back with more news on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back after the break. The annual Amarnath Yatra was flagged off from both Baltal and Pahalgam routes in Jammu and Kashmir this morning amid 5-tier security arrangements. Now, to ensure the smooth passage of the Yatra convoys on the Jammu National Highway, 300 additional companies of security forces have been deployed for the conduct of the parliamentary polls in Kashmir, and they have been retained and deployed for the security of the pilgrims. Radio frequency identification tags have been affixed in all the vehicles. Remember, over 1.5 lakh pilgrims from across the country have so far registered themselves for the 46-day yatra, which will conclude on 15th of August. And the second edition of the Fit India Conclave was organized by Medscape India on the occasion of Doctors' Day in Delhi yesterday. Several doctors and celebrities took part in the conclave from all over the country. Dr. Sunita Dubey, chairperson of Medscape India, has said that the objective of the conclave was to bring together the experts to deliberate on the strength of the existing healthcare sector and to make India a healthy country. People who took part in the conclave expressed commitment to make the country healthy.
हेल्थ अवेयरनेस और बीमारियों से बचने के लिए और साथ में जुट के एकजुट होकर देश के हित में काम करने के लिए ये प्रोग्राम था। और इसमें हेल्थ में स्पिरिचुअल से लेके मेंटल, देन टेक्नोलॉजी, स्टार्टअप, artificial intelligence, from the media role in healthcare, then we had a yoga role in the healthcare, so scientifically medical role in the healthcare, so empowering overall 360 degree का ये approach है.
Healthy India is happy India. That's why our Honorable Prime Minister of India understood the real power of India. The first visit to the United Nations, I remember I was there in his first visit in America, witnessed how powerfully he has given the message of India to the world.
यह उन सब व्यक्तियों का काम है जो इस देश को स्वस्थ देखना चाहते हैं, निरोग देखना चाहते हैं, लोगों की चेहरे पर प्रसन्नता और खुशहाली लाना चाहते हैं। उस अभियान को हम किसी भी रूप में कहीं से भी शुरू कर करके निभा सकते हैं। जिसके पास जितना सामर्थ्य है, चाहे वो आर्थिक सामर्थ्य है, चाहे वो बौद्धिक सामर्थ्य है, चाहे वो भौतिक सामर्थ्य है, चाहे वह किसी तरह का कोई ज्ञान नॉलेज है या किसी तरह की जो आपके अंदर सेवा करने का सामर्थ्य है, उस सामर्थ्य के द्वारा उस मिशन और अभियान को पूरा करने का काम आप और हम सब कर सकते हैं।
Well, it is Doctors' Day today, and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called upon the medical fraternity to create adequate awareness among the people to arrest the disturbing trend on Doctors' Day today. He also urged the doctor community to treat the downtrodden with compassion as well as empathy.
I also compliment all the doctors for their service in building a healthy India, and I urge upon them to treat downtrodden sections with compassion and empathy. Doctors are always treated as next to God by the common people. So doctors, while serving the people, they should remember this and then give their best to the people. Not only sympathy, but there should be empathy also.
President Ramnath Kovind today greeted Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on his birthday today. In a tweet, Kovind said that may Venkaiah Naidu be blessed with a healthy life and many years of dedicated service to the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also greeted the Vice President. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi said that over the last 2 years, he has been energetically serving the nation as the Vice President. He said that Naidu has also been excellently chairing the Rajya Sabha. And now a look at our budget series special. And today we look at the electronics sector. Now, India manufactures electronic products worth $65 billion, and unlike several other sectors in the country, this sector has grown at the rate of 26% in a span of just 4 years. And ahead of the forthcoming budget, the electronics industry spelled out its demands. Let's take a look.
India's electronics industry is emerging as a major disruptive force across multiple sectors. Electronics system and manufacturing designs have become a key factor driving growth and innovation. The industry wants the government to focus on investments in electronic component manufacturing. Besides, it is also seeking investment promotion in high-value added manufacturing segments. Given that electronics is also a key enabler in creating an intelligent economy like smart homes, smart transportation and smart cities, associations have urged the government to back efforts to create 50 intelligent electronics incubators.
We are not able to make the components and the semiconductors, the raw materials. That is where we require more investment, and we require we require more power. We need more finance. So I think these are basically the areas where the government has to support us.
The industry also wants an interest subsidy on term loans and working capital credit, direct tax benefits through lower corporate tax rate, and subsidies for employment generation and skill development. Further, to kickstart electronics exports and attract large domestic and foreign investments, it is recommending 200% deduction of trade fair expenses.
Benefits which are given to the industry should be based on value addition, and we need to promote the manufacturing of components and parts in semiconductors. And a second thing is, the export promotion. Because I think in exports, India is still lagging behind, and there is a lot of scope in the global market, which we should try to exploit and take benefit of.
The government approved the National Electronics Policy 2019 to achieve a turnover of $400 billion for the electronics system design and manufacturing sector by 2025. It also estimates 1 crore jobs will be created in this period. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And top international focus now. US President Donald Trump returned to the White House on Sunday after becoming the first sitting US president to set foot in North Korea. Donald Trump met North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in the demilitarized zone, or the DMZ, between the two Koreas, and agreed to resume stalled nuclear talks. Trump and the North Korean leader posed for handshakes before talking for nearly an hour in the heavily fortified demilitarized zone. Both the countries agreed to set up teams to resume the stalled nuclear talks. Remember, their last summit broke down in the month of February with no progress on denuclearization in North Korea. For a brief moment, Trump and Kim were also joined by South Korea's President Moon Jae-in, an unprecedented three-way gathering. The meeting was initiated by a spur-of-the-moment tweet by Donald Trump that Kim said took him by surprise. And after the meet, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that the fresh round of U.S.-North Korea talks are now likely in July.
Thank you very much. It'll happen, I guess, by the end of June still. It'll happen this month, starting tomorrow. So sometime in July, probably next 2 or 3 weeks, probably around the middle of the month would be my guess. And a place yet to be determined. But the teams will gather, they'll start working, they'll start exchanging ideas.
Now news from the ICC Cricket World Cup, where India suffered their first defeat after hosts England beat the men in blue by 31 runs at Edgbaston on Sunday. Now chasing a huge target of 338 runs, India could only score 306 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in their stipulated 50 overs. For India, Rohit Sharma played well and he scored 111 runs, while captain Virat Kohli and Hardik Pandya made 66 and 45 runs respectively. Mohammad Shami took 5 wickets for 69 runs. And earlier electing to bat first, England made 337 for the loss of 7 wickets. Opener Johnny Bairstow, who registered his first World Cup century, scored 111 runs and he was declared the man of the match. And with now 10 points from 8 matches, England now has moved to the 4th position in the tournament standing. India remains at the 2nd spot with 11 points. However, India's defeat has once again made the race for the semi-finals very interesting. While India only need one win from the next 2 matches, England and New Zealand must face a must-win game against each other. And talking about today's match now, today Sri Lanka will play West Indies at Chesterley Street. The match will begin at 3 p.m. India time. And that is the wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day ahead.